Holiday season is when a lot of people end up gaining weight over time as they're sort of going from, big family meetings and you're kind of stuffing yourself into a lot of leftovers. But it is definitely possible, in my opinion, to, still enjoy the holidays and then kind of manage to lose weight between them by managing things properly. And then that can help a lot with, making sure that you're not actually gaining a couple pounds through the holidays and stick around for the rest of the year. Big part of that, I think, as well, is a lot of people, when they have leftovers, especially from Thanksgiving, they'll kind of try and get through them and they eat a lot more than they normally would. So, kind of my recommendation on that is, especially if you have leftovers from Thanksgiving, make sure that when you're reheating leftovers or even meal prepping and that sort of thing, that you're cooking an amount that you think will actually make you satisfied. Not full, not like just eating, what's there, but portioning out an amount that you think will be enough that you don't feel like you need more food before you then go and reheat it. And then if you're off, then, it's very easy to just get a little bit more food or like a snack or something else from there. But that helps avoiding a situation where you go, oh man, I have all of this food to get through. I need to eat all of it. And then continuously stuffing yourself, even though, you don't really have any reason to. Of course, a lot of people are concerned about how much they're eating on a Christmas dinner or on Thanksgiving or anything like that. But I don't think that you really have to worry about this because it's only a couple days out of the year. Even if you have a lot of food, it's very hard to actually gain weight long term from that. Even if, for the next 2 days afterwards, just with the food going through your system too, your weight might register as a lot higher on a scale. That doesn't necessarily mean that the actual body fat and everything else in your body is quite the same. Um, just because it might be taking time to go through the digestive system, or if you get a lot more sodium, that can increase how much water your body's trying to hold on to. There's a lot of things like that. So I wouldn't be concerned short term about weight gains from holidays, but long term, you want to be sure that you are portioning things out in a way where you can just gradually introduce other foods and make sure that you're still having decent portion sizes and you're not getting yourself used to eating more than you normally do, just because you had one day where you had a potluck and there's a lot of extra food. As well, there's other things where if your body is going through digestion, that can increase the amount of weight that you're gonna get. Um, and there's like if you eat a lot of sodium when you don't normally have that, which can happen if you're going from eating like a clean diet to, you know, um, processed food or some things that are going to be at a thanks like a Thanksgiving meal maybe, because it's basically salt. Your body will hold on to more water for like a day or so afterwards, just because you had that sodium, and that can also be a thing that increases how much you weigh by a significant amount. Freezing any leftovers can also be a great idea, but basically, I think that you want to be sure that you're sort of gradually eating through things, but you don't need to go, oh man, I have so many leftovers that I need to get through it. It should be, oh, I have so many leftovers. Like, I have meals that are now prepared for me for like weeks or months as I'm just gradually getting through this. You basically just meal prepped for like a month if you're freezing things, especially. And, portioning out meat, portioning of potatoes, a lot of things like that will actually be very healthy. I think the main concern is if you have desserts or something like that, and that's kind of what you're taking home at the end of a Thanksgiving potluck. I think that's the only real circumstance where having food from Thanksgiving ends up being really bad is if it's something that you just don't want to eat at all. But in that case, maybe you can try and negotiate like, oh yeah, like, do I have any friends that want this? Is there other family members that might want to take some of this home? That kind of thing. But especially if you have like meat, potatoes, bread, any other foods that you might have on a normal day, then you can basically use anything that is left over from a holiday meal as meal prep. It's very convenient. And that way, you can make sure that you're still having like a reasonable amount of food over, a couple days, and then you're able to continuously just get back to your normal eating schedule as you're slowly working through everything left from Thanksgiving. And then at the end, you know, you're down weight because you're maintaining that deficit even though you had way more food on 1 or 2 days out of the year. But really, like, one day is not an issue. The issue is what you're consistently doing day to day, and if that's something that is adding up long term, then that can cause problems in the long run. But a lot of people go, oh man, like, I'm not going to eat healthy at this special event, and that usually doesn't matter. It's the 364 other days out of the year where you're having meals that, if you're consistently up just a little bit on any of those days, that can cause problems. And especially if you're in a deficit for the entire year, like, a you don't need to worry about a holiday meal or anything like that. It's going to be larger, a birthday, anything, because it's very easy to just kind of absorb that in slowly losing weight.